Today we are going to look at annotations. So we'll start with the settings and then just kind of run down the thing. I'm actually going to put the custom rules down at the bottom. We'll do that last. And then we'll answer some of your questions on what you were asking there, Aaron, about tags and on certain categories and things like that. Yeah. So starting out, annotation settings. You know, it's under the settings tab over here, annotation settings. And the out of the box setup here kind of comes with these different options available. You got alias, elevation, length, multi, number, offset, and size. Okay. Does everybody know what alias is? Is everyone kind of aware on what that does? Oh, yes.
I'd say no for me, but an alias is a fake name, right?
Okay. Okay, so alias is something that's built into our database, or it built into every database actually. And right now it's not set up. I've been working on getting all of the aliases put together. But you can think about it as an abbreviation for an object. Yeah. So I've been working on the ductwork side. The piping side is a little bit more complicated because like we have like hundreds of end caps to choose from. So admittedly, I mean the annotation module or system or whatever you want to call it is admittedly mostly for sheet metal, generally speaking, like when it breaks out alias and length and all these other things. But it does work for piping too. Yeah, so just kind of be aware of that. I'm trying to find where, here we go. So in our database, that's the wrong one, sheet metal components, we want, here we go, this is the folder that we want. So this is kind of the objects that are on in our palettes on the ductwork side. And you can see there's not too many fittings to choose from, right? Because we fabricate everything. So if we right click on this and look at properties, and there's this line item here called alias. And again, it's basically an abbreviation for the object. And again, this is mostly for sheet metal. Because again, like if we go into the plumbing side, like here we have one end cap. We could make it two end caps if we wanted, like a TDC or an S and drive specific end cap, depending on how CAM is set up and things like that. But on the piping side, we would have to go and set up alias for pretty much every single end cap for every different material type. And it takes a while. So I'm on the fence on how we're using aliases on the piping side, but on the sheet metal side, it's very useful, especially when you get into like dampers and things like that. You know, we can look at this. This is a fire damper. We can even put FDB and FDA in there if you guys really wanted to. If we end up using items or ITMs, the fabrication stuff for dampers. Yeah, still on the fence about it. Don't know if we're going to do it, but these dampers specifically we can still use, and we've been kind of working out on some standards on that. So if we look at like a fitting, for instance, a cap, a common alias for end cap is EC for end cap, things like that. So I've been working on some of the elbow ones. They're kind of odd. So REL for radius elbow, MOS for mitered offsets. I think drop cheek bend is DCEL. Yeah, drop cheek elbow here. So it's just an abbreviation. Is the long and the short of it. Hangers, I can see a lot of value in having aliases for different types of hangers. Okay, but in general, this and then the other one is multi-tag. Multi-tag is basically if you want to have a tag that shows both like length and elevation in the same tag, which is kind of common in the mainland. I've seen some guys use, like for ductwork, they'll have size and length in the same tag. when we run through this here a little bit later, you'll see how the out-of-the-box eVolve one, what they include in their multi-tag. Yeah. So as far as settings go, oops, I switched to the wrong project here. Here we go. So as far as annotation settings go, Alias is kind of the first one. It's for the abbreviation of the fittings. The next one is an elevation tag, pretty straightforward. For both ductwork and pipework. Now, when we run this, I'll show you guys some quick ways on how to slice and dice the models using our element filters to kind of tag things quickly. Next one is length tag, mostly for ductwork on shop drawings. This comes in handy for our cutlass drawings on the piping side. Again, the multi-tag is for showing multiple objects or multiple line items of information in the same tag. Number tag, everyone's familiar with. It's just the item number put into the object. This will tie into our renumber thing. Offset tag, this is specifically for ductwork transitions. I haven't tried to use this on any plumbing stuff. Don't know if it works on anything on the piping side. And then size tag is pretty straightforward. It's whatever size tag you have loaded. Okay, so just kind of what's available out of the box here. Now you have the tag type here as the next row over. So I guess, you know, we'll start at the top. Category. This sets what category it applies to. The tag type sets the type of tag that it is. And mostly that's just for the software determining kind of which tag and all that stuff is. Service type. This is another really interesting one. And this can come in handy in a lot of cases, actually. As we get our database a little bit more integrated and things a little bit more worked out, I am going to set up some more standards so you can have like a different... I can't think of one on the ductwork side right off the top of my head, but they have one built in for the piping. So for us on the number tag, we can have a different item number that has a different shape around the item number if it's a valve versus a weld. So for us, we don't generally tag like no hub couplings on a spool drawing. They just kind of count the number of couplings and the guys can kind of figure that out. Valves, you could have it be a different tag, that's fine, but again, it just gives you that option. Now, where this actually comes from is another setting inside the database. So if we go into the database and we look at an object, and I'm just going to look at, I don't know, something that's in here, carbon steel. We'll look at a Milwaukee flange valve. If we look at the properties of this, and we look under item and service type, it says right here service type is valve, and these service types are built into our database. We can customize this as we go. So if we get deeper into the database, and I realize this isn't something you guys do a lot, but if we get deeper into database, where is our service types at? Service types right here. So these are kind of the out-of-the-box ones here that are available. We can make as many as we want or change as many as we want. So any of these with the red X are custom ones that are in our database currently. Okay, and this was kind of came with our value pack. So just kind of be aware of that. If you guys really have an object or an item that you always tag differently, like an inline object, and you want to be able to do that automatically, rule-based, we can add a new service type in the database and kind of update our items here and have that separate out for us. So if you guys find a use case for it, let me know and we can definitely integrate it. Yeah. So any questions on what service type is? I'll show you kind of how to figure out what it is here in a minute. Yeah. And what I mean by what it is, by on the object, how to figure out what service type is set to the object. That's kind of what I mean. Any questions on that? No? Okay. So annotation family name, this is just the family name of the tag. This is the location of the tag on your computer. And again, like in the other trainings, we're going to set up a network location for all of this. Right now, you know, you can just set this up with a folder on your computer and things like that. Again, I'll set up like a Dropbox folder or something, and then we'll be able to export and import our settings. Right now, what I have is just right out of the box. So this is just going to show us what eVolve has set up for us. Now, placement, this one's kind of cool. This sets where the tag goes from a base perspective. Think about it as a base point of the object, okay? So you got above center, middle left, etc., etc. This is the location on the object that you're tagging, and then you can adjust where that tag goes with these numbers. Now, to get this correct, it does take a little bit of massaging. This isn't in like standard like inches or feet or anything. This is just a nominal increment. I haven't figured out what the increment number is, but you'll notice as you start to use this, these numbers, the more you mess with them, the further it kind of nudges things either left or right or up or down. Yeah, and we'll kind of take a look at that. And then obviously this last one is if you want a leader on your tag or not. Okay. Definitely useful, especially like on the number tags. Any questions so far? What's that?
Would the tag still be removed manually?
Yes, definitely.
Can I place it myself? Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, and we'll kind of look at how to do groups of objects, or tagging groups of objects, or just single objects as well. Yeah, but you can definitely move them after you're done. Yeah. I do recommend kind of, you know, messing around with this a little bit right in the beginning and then getting your settings the way you like it, and then just doing group rule-based tagging. For sheet metal, it goes really extremely fast. It's kind of unreal. So, any other questions on the settings? No? Okay. And really, once the settings are kind of set, it's really straightforward. This is a pretty cool tool. Really easy. These are all the out of the box buttons that are available to us, and that's why you kind of have to set, hey, it's an offset, it's an alias, it's a length, etc. Now you could technically put a length tag in the offset button. Don't know how it would serve you. You could also put, like, maybe you don't use the alias tag a lot and you have another special tag that you want to use. You could kind of hack it and say, hey, I want my special tag in alias, just because the button's available for you right there. And then we'll get into these custom tags here in a minute, but it is kind of a way to sort of hack the buttons that are available to you. Yeah, if you have a special tag that you like to use, it's got like pink polka dots on it or something. Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of get into how this works. I was starting to set this up, and we'll do some other ones too. So let's just do some outside air, rectangular, 24 by 24 is fine. And we'll look at this this bloody flex duct thing here in a second too. So just like we were looking at in the other ones, you can kind of get this all drawn out however you want to do it. We'll put some tabs on this bad boy here. We'll reduce it here. And maybe this is now 18 by 12. We'll set this to be, I don't know what I just did. We'll set this to be an eccentric transition. Let me do that. Yep. Route and fill. Boom. There we go. And this is where that Connect MEP tool would come in handy. And then we'll just set these to be kind of small. Maybe these are 10 by 8s. And then this is trim end into the main here. And then again, like we were looking at in the other trainings, if we wanted to do an offset, maybe a 2-foot offset, maybe that's not big enough, maybe we'll go 4 feet. And we can just hit tab here, oops, hit tab, and it'll kind of duplicate the whole run for us. And maybe it doesn't want to be on this one, maybe it wants to be on this one. Yeah. and then we'll just select this whole thing and optimize lengths here. Yeah, and you guys have seen all this before, nothing special. You know, you can kind of come in and drag this out if you want. Maybe this elbow gets kind of optimized here, and we don't need that on the end. Yeah, so pretty basic drafting stuff. Piping works the same way. I'm sure you guys all know how to do it, yeah. So as far as tagging goes, let's start looking at our tags. And then let me get the element filter up here too. Okay, so we also looked at eVolve properties previously. So what I recommend before you start annotating is make sure your eVolve properties are current. So if I turn this on and we go ahead and refresh, just a little quick refresher on this. Right now, nothing's in the data, the eVolve data associated to all of our ITM files, or our ITM objects, I'm sorry. So let's just refresh this for the full project since it's kind of small. It's go ahead and extracting that data and then populating the line item information. And you can see here, here's some good information for you. Here's pattern number here, and that's going to come in handy when we go to isolate our things for tagging. You know, here's some, and then here's the other thing down here for service type. So that's a rectangular duct. This one here is still set as rectangular duct. Let's do some piping real fast. See what we can do on the chill water side. Oops, don't need to do that. Let's set it to be 6-inch. Just for fun here. And then we'll run this again one more time. Current view. Oops, I'm sorry, I was going to add a valve real fast. Valves. Butterfly valve. Insert part. And then we can add some hangers on this too if we want. Just to see what service types come up and what we can do for some of this tagging stuff. And maybe we just take this and we run our hanger placement command. Oops, I didn't have my hanger placement set up, so I guess we're not going to do that. This is just an out-of-the-box thing here. Okay, refresh one more time. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We'll add some more hangers on this. Sorry, I should have set this up, but I wanted you guys to see the kind of the process from beginning to end, so we get all the little things in there that kind of make the most sense. So we're just adding random hangers on this. Okay, now we can refresh our eVolve properties here. So that populates the data for us, right? And now when we select the hanger, it gives us the pattern number, and in the properties, it gives us the service type. Yeah, hanger gives you the pattern number 838, and even on this side, our service type is set to valve. Yeah. Any questions on that? I was just kind of running through getting this kind of set up for us. Nope. Okay. So annotations. So on the ductwork side, so I guess let's start at the top, offset. Okay, so we have some transitions in here. Now it is pretty easy to just select the button and then select the object and then click, and it kind of puts it'll put the tag wherever you click. Okay. Another way to do it is to select both of these and then have offset set, and it'll just do both of those, and you can see how it put it right in the middle there. So based on our annotation settings, the offset for ductwork, come on, is set to middle center and 0, 0 for adjust. Okay, so we can let's delete these and then let's change our settings again. And maybe we don't want middle center. Maybe we want below center for whatever reason, and then we'll just put some crazy numbers in here, 30 and minus 18. And you can put positive and negative numbers in the adjust. Okay, so let me select both of these and go ahead and hit our offset, and you can see how they're way down out in space now. Yeah, and again, you'll kind of have to mess with the adjust and things like that to kind of get it the way that you want it. Now, this is something I'm not sure if you guys are aware of on the sheet metal side, how to change this. Do you guys know how to change this equals?
What was the question?
Do you know how to change this from equals? Because right now it's saying that this is a center offset. So it's going to say equals. Do you know how to kind of change that? Or maybe even if it's flat on bottom or something. So here, let's...
Is that on the family?
This is actually in here. So let's change this. Let me just edit this part real quick. And we'll go extension. We'll go, oh, it's already flat left. And we'll go flat bottom. Let's see if it gives us a problem. So it's flat on bottom, right? Or maybe it's even a transition up. We'll go value and call it like 6 inches here. And this is something that I think, oh, maybe I changed it the wrong way. Or maybe, oh, I think it was at 6 inches before. There you go. Oh, now it's at flat on top. Oh, man, I keep messing this up. So we'll go 18 inches. Continue. Oops. It didn't like that. So that should be step up 1 inch. Yeah, step up 1 inch. So all of these settings here for how the transitions function are actually under manage, under mechanical settings here. And if we go to duct settings, here's all of your abbreviations. So instead of S up, I know we like to do top up and top down and bottom up and bottom down. Those are good. Flat on top, flat on bottom. And then here's your center line setting. So right now it's set to equals, yeah? And I don't know if I've ever seen that on a drawing before. So what we want, what I'm used to seeing is the center line symbol. Is that kind of what we like to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like to
Okay, so
CL.
yeah, or CL. You could put CL in there. So you could put CL in there. So let's see what that looks like. So CL, kind of the same thing, right? Center line. Or here's another little nugget of fun. If you put down text and you right click, there's all these symbols for us, yeah? The degree symbol, the angle symbol. I used to always look up the alt codes. If you guys know what an alt code is, you'd have to put in like alt and then 4 numbers, and then it would go pick a symbol for you. Here's the center line symbol. So we can actually go in and copy this. So Control C, and then go into our manage settings here. And it'll let us replace this with our center line symbol. So now you can have the center line symbol on there if you want as well. Yeah. So just a little nugget of fun there if you guys want to use that. CL or center line, whatever you want to do. I don't think it really matters either way. But that's available to you. I know these aren't connected, but we'll just use that. Okay, so that's the offset command. We kind of went through tagging multiple things and kind of how to set up the offset stuff. That's more of a sheet metal thing. Let's look at the next one down the list. Okay, so lengths. Okay, and here's where we'll start to get into the different isolations. Okay, so since we've ran our eVolve properties, it tells us what the pattern number is in here. Okay, and we know just based on the other one that if we just hit the length thing, we can click on the object and then click off to the side and click on the object, and you can do it one by one. It's still faster than actually doing out of the box, because you get to pick where the tag goes and if it has a leader on it or not, just by the out of the box settings for eVolve. Or I'm sorry, the annotation settings for eVolve. It's still a little bit faster than saying, hey, create similar and then tagging these. You know, you can change your offset here. Maybe it's 3/8. Don't know why you'd want a 3/8. And you can kind of go through this. But as soon as you don't have a leader on it, it puts it right in the middle. Yeah, so you end up having to kind of go back and modify these things, or you know, hey, you can put these in and then come back and turn the leaders off, and there's all kinds of junk or hoops that you have to run through for tagging. So let's see how we can do this really quickly. Let me delete these tags. Okay, and what we'll see is if we go ahead and select everything here and we go to tag all of our lengths, it'll tag all the fittings too. Yeah, and it's giving us an error because there is no length for hangers. But there is for fittings and the transitions too. The transitions are useful for lengths. I know we tag length transitions, but you see you get these question marks at the elbows and stuff. Not super ideal, even at the taps and things. So to me, I like to kind of, when I'm annotating like ductwork specifically, or even when we get into the pipe side, I like to kind of pick how I'm tagging things. Yeah. So let's go ahead, and I think if I hit undo, it'll just undo everything. So what we can do is we can use the element filters like we had before. We can say, hey, I want to select a pattern number. So I'm going to select all these, get my pattern number selection out, and my selection action is going to be, let's temporarily isolate based on the pattern number. So as soon as I hit this, it's going to ask me what pattern number. Now I looked at this before we started. It should be 866, I believe. So now you have only the straights showing. Now if I didn't click in the open space here, everything would still be selected, and you can go straight into eVolve and say, hey, let's tag all the lengths. Yeah. So now it just tagged all of the lengths based on our settings with the tag setting that we have. Yeah. So let me run through that quickly. So we'll select everything. We want our pattern number selected. We want 866. Boom. And then we can go eVolve, tag my lengths. Yeah. Oops. I don't know why it gave me the hanger one, but it's because it still had the object selected before, but same thing, not a problem. Yeah, and let's see if it tagged. Yeah, so I guess you do have to deselect your items first, because it was still tagging the items that were hidden because I still had them selected in the background. So let's do that one more time. 866. And then do a quick reselection for eVolve and tag my lengths. So really fast. Yeah. Any questions on kind of how we got to this point? No? Okay. You can do the same thing if you know the pattern for any object. Yeah, maybe we want to know the pattern for the valves, which is 868. So we can go here, select this, isolate temporarily 868, and maybe we want to tag the item number. So eVolve item number, it'll go ahead and tag them. Now we don't have any item numbers loaded, right? But I'll show you here in a second how to get those loaded quickly. And you probably want to well, we'll go through that here in a second. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys, you know, how you can use the element filters to kind of really nail down tagging things quickly. Yeah, like really quickly. Yeah. So let's do the next one, Alias. I think this is probably going to get redundant here. So click, 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 click for the individuals, or you can multi-select and hit Alias. Oops. Alias. Maybe it doesn't work on the alias one, the multi-select. Let's just isolate these. What is the pattern number? 28. So let's do this. Pattern number 28. Ooh, it's freaking out on me here. Isolate temporarily. Oh wow, it's freaking out on me. Here, let me save this. Let's see if it still runs on the straights, or if the thing just glitched out on me. Maybe I hit it too many times. No, it runs on the straights. Weird. We'll have to see. If you guys are running into this too, let me know. We'll need to talk to them on what's going on. I'm not sure why the elbows aren't working, unless I was putting. Oh, I was putting in the wrong pattern number. That's exactly why it won't run. So it's user error and not software error. So 20. There we go. That's better. And then we can select all this. eVolve, Alias. And it's got everything tagged for us. Yeah. These ones were previously tagged. So it's not going to re-tag those. Yeah. So just be aware of that. If something is already tagged, it doesn't try to tag it again, which is kind of nice if you think about it. Yeah, it will be kind of annoying at the transitions, but maybe it only works for the same tags. So let's tag this, and then let's try to do the offset tag here. Offset. Boom. Yeah, so it is. If it's got that tag type on it, it will not try to tag that again. Let's try to tag these with length now, and let's see if it does it. Yeah, see, it won't redo the length because there's already a length tag associated. That's kind of nice. Yeah. Any questions on that so far? Nothing? Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Just making sure. Okay, multi-tag. So I think we're kind of clear on how this all works. We've gone through the element filter thing. Let's just look at the different tags that they have available. So let me just tag this one. Ba-boom. So this one has elevation and length on it. Yeah. We can make this multi-tag to put pretty much anything you want in here. And again, I know I'm doing this mostly on ductwork, but you know, it works the same for piping too. These are all kind of the same thing. Yeah. So multi-tag. The renumber tag, we'll do this in a second. Size tag, everyone kind of knows what the size tag and how that works. It gives you the pipe size depending on what you have loaded in here. It won't tag that one. It's already tagged. I don't like how they have this rectangular in front of the rectangular one. I think if it's round, it puts the diameter symbol in there. And again, this is just out of the box. So we can use whatever tags we want, but let's see what eVolve has for us here. Yeah, see, it's got the, if it's round, it's got this round thing. If it's rectangular, it's got this rectangular thing. Not sure if that's really useful. I'll let you guys decide, but I don't really like it myself. But it's there if you want it. And then elevation, obviously just an elevation tag. Pretty basic, yeah. So I don't think there's probably any questions. I kind of beat this one to death, but this is extremely useful and time saving, yeah. Because if you have, say like on the piping side, we don't tag every fitting. We tag like if it's a waste system. Do I have a waste system loaded? We'll just assume this is, we'll pretend this is sanitary sewer here. I realize it's not. Maybe we'll call this 3-inch. Oops, not 3/8. 3-inch. Slope up. Hopefully it doesn't give me any errors. 1/4-inch. Boom. Boom. So for us on the piping side, if we're tagging elevations, we tag high points and low points. So we would go here, here, and here, probably. And again, the out of the box doesn't want any leader on this tag. So if we went into our annotation settings, boom, and we looked at our elevation tag here for pipe work, we could go ahead and add a leader if we wanted to. And then we could change the tag if we wanted to as well. We'll hit apply, and then let's select all these and try again real fast. Delete, elevation, boom, boom. It's got a leader on it. It's almost the same as kind of out of the box on the piping side, but I'm sure over time as we use this more, we'll get really good at it. And again, I need to update these tags. I have a set of tags that we like to use. loaded into the folder, but again, I'm still working on the template, so it's coming. Yeah. So any questions on this? I kind of beat this one to death. No? Nothing. Okay.
I got a quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the tags came off eVolve out of the box, and it was processed by eVolve. How is that gonna behave if we don't have eVolve license?
If you don't have an eVolve license, then you can't run the module. But as soon as you have the family loaded in, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
You still did it like normal family?
Yeah, it's just a loadable family at that point. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, good question. Yeah. So let's look at custom tags here. So we can add custom tags. This was just a little test I was running. Again, where I think this really icon, blah, 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 blah. The thing about this one is it does not allow us to filter by service type. And I was actually in a meeting with the developers here recently, and they're adding that. And then also for you, Aaron, kind of what we were looking at is it doesn't, well, this custom tag setting here, it doesn't differentiate between, what am I trying to say? Categories, family categories, yeah. So let's put a flex duct one in here, if I could spell flex duct. And let me go find a flex duct family here. I might need to load one in. Can I tag this? Oh yeah, so let me save this. Edit family. I'm just going to save this to my desktop. Tag flex duct size. eVolve. I got too many add-ins here. So this will be out of our desktop. So you just kind of, wherever you have it loaded, you can make any sort of tag you want. That was tag flex duct. You can add a fancy image if you wanted to. Let's do this. And then it kind of shows the icon. And then here's your settings, right? So, and then you can add a leader if you want. I'm not going to add a leader, but I'm going to set these to like 30 and minus 30 just for fun. Boom, hit OK. So as far as flex duct goes, you can drop this down and see, here's your image. So you could put a fancy image in there for tag 2. Obviously, that's a really poor image. Let me get a different image real fast. I think I had an icon image here. Yeah, icon. So these icon images, if you have an image that you want to use, 100 pixels by 100 pixels is probably what you're looking for. Yeah, here's 100 by 100. And here's another little nugget. If you guys were not aware how to change icon, or I'm sorry, image files, let me see here. You can go into any PNG or bitmap or whatever. Oops, we don't want to double click. You want to right click on this and edit this in Paint. You want to open this in Paint, and you can go to resize here, and you can set the number of pixels. Yeah. So if I set this to 100 by 100, it will kind of skew the image because it's already not a square. Oops. 100 by 100, and then if I turn this off, it's going to be all kind of crooked looking now. But if I hit save as or whatever, this kind of makes the image really small because everything's based off pixel, the number of pixels for these icons. So just be kind of aware of that. You can make whatever kind of icon you want. Yeah. So if we hit tag 2, let's see. Yeah, see, it's not going to let us grab the flex duct. And again, I think that's because it is looking specifically for the category. So maybe I'm a liar, Aaron. Maybe it only applies to duct accessories, ductwork, hangers, pipework, and pipe accessories. I think that's all we're allowed to do right now. to be honest with you. So you're right, for flex duct, you're kind of stuck. Even though you can load it here, it won't find that category. It's looking for duct, and it won't even do it because it's not the right family. Yeah, so it's already filtering the category type in the tag placement. But again, I do know that in the newer releases that are coming out, I think in a couple weeks, they did open this up for new categories. Yeah, if you had a bunch of flex ducts, say you had a bunch of these and you wanted to tag them, I don't know how you like to tag your flex duct. You can kind of go to the annotate tab and say tag all. We can go find flex duct, no leader, hit apply, and then you can tag them all the same way, right? But it doesn't give you any real options. Yeah, it's all kind of based the same. So if I undo that and we wanted to add a leader to it, we go tag all, flex duct. Maybe we want a leader at 1/4 inch. I don't know what I just did. Let me do that again. Flex ducts, leader. We'll leave it at 1/8. And you can set this to horizontal or vertical. See, it tags all the flex ducts for you as well. So that is available to you. The air device works the same. So here, let me sort of trim this in here real fast. And then if we copy these, multiple, boom, 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 and then mirror this across. Not super realistic, but you guys can see how quick you can sort of go through and manipulate this stuff. Yeah. And then you could go ahead and start tagging all the flex ducts. So if you wanted to, you could go here, set on your shades, isolate elements, and then tag all the flex ducts with the leader horizontal, boom. So now these are all tagged for you. Yeah. Same thing with air devices. What do we have for air terminals? We'll do a leader for that one too. So whatever air terminal tag we had loaded. I think this is the louver tag. Yeah. Let's do this one. No type marks, no CFMs available in there. So nothing's really put into the object. But is there any questions on that as far as tagging and auto tagging? Again, the new categories are coming. So, any questions? No? Okay. Last one here. Oops, let me unhide all this. So the renumber command, this thing is pretty sweet. Okay, so if I go to hit renumber, again, here's the service type thing that comes up again. This is a theme in the way eVolve works, because it's based off the way the database is built. Pattern IDs as well. I don't know how this item name thing works. It probably needs to be named exactly the same name as the object. So if we go in and put in an elbow, what is the name of this bad boy? This is Viega 2916-copper elbow 90. Yeah. I would assume that you would need to put that in to match exactly. Yeah, and you can add as many rows as you want. So maybe I'll pick an easier one so I don't have to write all that out. Well bend. Here, let's try to pick a ductwork one. Square bend. Okay, so let's do renumber. And maybe this one is square bends. Oops. Square bends, baboon. No prefix. Maybe we'll put a prefix on this of SQEL for the square bends. Starting value of 1000. Suffix, we'll call this fitting just for fun. Obviously, you shouldn't put that in the suffix because that would make a really long number. This is a fitting. Service type is rectangular duct. And again, you can find all of this as soon as you run your eVolve properties. Pattern ID, you could have the pattern ID in here as well. I'm pretty sure it's 20. And then we'll just put square bend in here and we'll see what happens. So fitting, we're going to write the properties to item number. We'll go through this here in a second. I just want to see if this works. And we'll hit apply. So here, let's renumber. Let's grab these. Oops. And finish. So let's see what our item number is for this bad boy. Yeah, alias. So it looks, oops. So the duct fitting was kind of over the top of this square bend. So let's go back and reprioritize these. Does it let us renumber these? So let's put this at number 1 and hit apply. Does it let us do that? Duct fittings. Let's put this at 10. And let's order these. Pipe streets. So square bends are up at the top and the duct fittings are down at the bottom. Yeah, so let's see if it'll run now. Let's try again. Boom. Renumber. And now you can see that since it's prioritized, it's got square elbow dash blah 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 in this thing here. Yeah. So you can kind of have rules that are on top and on the bottom of each other that kind of override each other. Yeah. So the higher you are on the list here, the more precedent that it takes over everything else. Yeah. So duct fittings down at the bottom. You can even see how the default is higher than the duct fittings. So the transition started with this 002 with a D on the end for default with the suffix. So you can see how the transitions here were set to 002-D because that rule was higher in the list than the other one. Okay. So that's basic renumbering and what this table does. Okay. Now options, set objects to specify order and all this. What I recommend for this here is just kind of messing with the options as far as select objects to specify order and all that stuff. The best way to kind of get used to this is just to use it. Yeah. Obviously tag items is pretty straightforward. You can pick your number separator if you want. You can make this a slash. I don't know what else we would use. A period. I've used periods a lot in number separation. A dash is pretty common. Underscore is pretty common. Yeah, and then select run to specify order. So this is just selecting a run instead of the objects. Obviously, it'll tag items or not tag the items, and then it will append the service abbreviation if you want to on the end. So if you wanted EA, OA, SA, whatever our service abbreviation is, it'll go ahead and add that to whatever rules you have up here. Yeah. And then it'll just renumber, or it'll renumber by spool or renumber by service. Okay, so it'll start over depending on if the items are already spooled, or it'll start over depending on if it's a different service or not. So you can actually renumber like a whole floor of different services at one time. And I've actually renumbered entire projects at once before, and it runs perfectly from what I can tell. Yeah. So again, just kind of mess with these as you go. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Use same item number. So this is pretty common for what we do. And again, when we were numbering like whole projects at once, this was used in an effort so that if you had a weld bend, a 6-inch weld bent elbow, and say it wasn't spooled, all of the 6-inch weld bent elbows on the chill water service have the same item number. You know, if it's a ductwork, maybe it's a radius elbow, a 12 by 12 or something. No matter what system it is, or you could set it to, installation specification, or even here's where your renumber element items by service. So say you had supply air, return air, and you wanted all the elbows to be the same except you wanted to break it out by service. Here's where you could check change it by service, and then only change it if the installation specification is different. Yeah. So as you kind of go through here, you know, I recommend running a few test runs with some of these settings to make sure that things are coming out properly. But this is pretty straightforward. You know, ignore these properties. So if they have a different button alias or whatever, usually if things have a different button alias, you would want them to be a different number, things like that. Yeah, so this is available. And then this last one here about write to properties. So each element in Revit, yes, okay. Each element in Revit, the item numbers are a little bit different, okay? Families themselves, the mark number is populated automatically. For ITMs, it is not, and I don't know why. I'm not sure that it matters because there's lots of different ways to auto-populate things, especially on the plumbing piping side where we have a lot of mixture of pipe accessories, and sometimes we have like generic models and things in there. You know, the mark numbers are super useful for us, or if they're grouped, okay? So groups get kind of finicky when you start updating the item numbers, yeah? So what you can actually do is write things to the mark number on the if things are in a group, and the mark number will not lose its mind and start breaking all of your groups. Okay, this is pretty important. Now if you guys need to write a mark number into item number later, I can kind of show you how to do that. Usually we can use Rushforth tools, or I'm pretty sure we have a Dynamo script that does that. All right, everyone. Yeah, thank you very much. Let me know if you come across anything, and we will get her done.